So we're going to just jump right in here. Welcome everyone to Transpicuous Views. It is June 18th. We're now halfway past the month. And again, I still don't know how it is already halfway through June. Time is what it is. We're doing a special interview tonight with a friend of mine, Kevin Schlosser, who is an unfucker, and he is doing a really cool project. And when he messaged me last week to tell me about it, I was like, oh, we definitely need to talk. It's one of those projects when you kind of say the time has come. The time has come for this to be put out into the world. So Kevin, thank you for joining us tonight.
Yay, thanks for having me. I'm so excited. I've been listening to you for so long. It's been 7 years, I think, since the beginning I've been listening to you. It's like one of the only radio shows.
There you go. There we go. Hold on. I'm playing with my camera. My camera's being all woozy here at the moment. Okay. Name of the project. Tell us the name of the project.
The name of the project is Million Kind Acts. That's what we called it.
Million Kind Acts. A million acts of kindness. Let's jump in. Before we jump in, because I'm going to show everyone the crowdfunding page because I've got it all loaded up to show everyone. But I want you to give us a little background of, first, A Million Acts of Kindness. What is it? And then what inspired the dream? Like, what actually motivated you to say, this is the moment?
Okay. Wow, what a big question. So I could talk about this for a while. But what the project is, essentially, I'll just try to knock it down to something, is it's creating a moment for us to make a shift. It's creating a moment where we can take all of our concepts and all of our ideas and we can see how we can apply those ideas to creating the world that we want to have. And we've structured it like a game. And wow, okay, I could go on lots more about that, but maybe that's a good little start. And how it was inspired is because I've been in Israel for about 7 years. I was from Canada. And my whole time here was spent, I was kind of trapped here and I wasn't allowed to work or open bank accounts or do anything. And so for 7 years, I found this really alternative way of living. And in that alternative way of living, I found that there is a really special world that exists, a world that exists outside of the idea of trade and currency. And it's based on value. And it's based on us just coming together and you meet somebody and you want to help them and they help you. And this heart space opens between you and you work together to create something new. And so for the last 7 years, I've traveled around Israel just helping people on these projects, and people would help me on certain things. And there was no exchange of money. It was just people coming together with the excitement of the project and wanting to make something work. And when it happens, you have this beautiful connection that's opened up. It's something that you don't get in trade when you go to a store and you use money. This money concept takes this personal connection out of the way and diverts it over here somewhere. And so when you have this personal connection, your heart opens. It's like a whole physical response that goes through you, which I think is the actual response that they try to create in all of these video games, which they're using to try to release endorphins and make us feel good when we accomplish certain things and what have you. That is a natural response that they're trying to recreate using their video game. But we didn't know that it was a natural response because we forgot how to help each other. And so what this game does is it teaches us how to help each other again and how to have that endorphin rush, because it's an endorphin rush when you connect with somebody and you're working together with them on something that's good for everybody. You have a flow of good vibes going on, and it's something you just don't find in the world. Yep. So the game is designed to try to open this up and give us this experience again of being able to connect with each other and work together to do something good. And yeah, that's kind of the purpose of it.
Well, I'm gonna pull up your crowdfunding page in a minute, but When I first read your crowdfunding page, there was one particular section that jumped out at me as, here's the reason. This is the moment now because, and you talked about it on the crowdfunding page, and you said, right now, through the media, through social media, we are inundated with negativity. Everything is negative. It's like there's war, there's disasters, there's famine, etc. And yet on the flip side of that, when you talk about the good things, like the good things like helping someone, it's very much been, you have to be quiet about that. Like you can't help someone and talk about it. You gotta, because that might be egotistical. Like we have to, you do good things to help your neighbor, to help your friends, to help your community, but you never talk about it. That's not seen as polite. It's not seen as the cool thing to do. And what does that give us? It gives us, like when you're in social media, a real overbalance, because you take all the good things out of it, all the good stories, all the feel-good stories, all the stories that inspire us get taken out, and all you're left with is all the negativity, all the crap that brings us down. And that was the one part that really caught me. I was like, oh, if ever there was a time, this is the time now where we have to be like, okay, we need to bring the good stuff back out, like highlight it, bring it out, let everyone know so that they see it and they can maybe catch the feeling of what it's like to be part of something like that.
Exactly. Yeah. I feel like part of the concept behind this is that we started looking at the idea of storytelling and how powerful it is. I think so many things, there's so many powerful things in this world that we have been taught to overlook. And we think that power and certain things come from what we've been taught to believe. But if you look at the world, you see that there's certain forces in the world which have existed for a long time. Storytelling is one of them. All of our ancient stories were passed on through storytelling. I was raised on a native reserve in Canada. It was all stories. We just told stories all the time. We told our own stories. We created our own stories. Now, what's happened over the last few years, I mean, I've been off the grid for a while, so when I'm coming back into this thing, I'm seeing like, oh my God, what's happened here? The power of us being able to tell our stories has been hijacked. The stories are now told through corporations who are all just propaganda, and they're told on these big scales. And what I'm always shocked by is that whenever I turn on the screens, I hear these crazy stories of things that I can never change. They're just so big, they're so bad. And that's all I hear. And if I look, my only other option besides the media on TV is social media. And to be quite honest, social media is, you have some stuff there, but most of it's self-promotion. We're taught to self-promote on these sites, not to show real news. So if you look at it in the world, our power of storytelling has been hijacked from us, and these stories are being fed down our throats about bad conflict and moments of conflict. That's all that they focus on. And they have the power of telling the story now, because we don't have any other way to tell our stories except through these self-promotion sites, which we're taught how to self-promote. I just got this Facebook thing going. I mean, it's helping me self-promote everything. Like, it's all about promotion and stuff. So if you think about it, we've lost the idea of news. We don't even know what real news is.
Censorship issue. And then we have to deal with the censorship issue, so that, and especially right now, with everything that's just gone haywire in the last 6 weeks on social media, on regular media. Well, regular media has already been there, but social media has gone insane, where now we've got YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram are shutting down all these accounts. So therefore, a flip side, an alternate version or an alternate explanation or another perception of a given issue isn't allowed. And that story is squashed. So it never gets out there. And I've seen it in like you say, like the feel-good stories they get shared to an extent, but then you look at the terrible stories, they're the ones that get the most, it goes viral. Something that they talk about, it's gone viral on YouTube. You can guarantee it's like a massive car crash, or it's a massive thunderstorm that, a hurricane, something like this. The good stories rarely are given that or allowed to have that attention or that exchange of value, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
So,
it's true. Yeah.
It's true. It's true. So I want to show everyone. Bear with me a second. Got to make sure I've got it open. Okay. I'm going to show. My Zoom is doing stuff all over the place. Hold on. There we go. See, you say you're going to go one place and you go somewhere else. Okay. So this is Kevin's crowdfunding page. Create 1 million acts of kindness to inspire hope in humanity. And like I said, everyone should read this. It is very inspiring. I love how you've written this. It is very inspirational to see where you're going with this and see what this journey is for it. So do you want to walk us through a little bit of this?
Absolutely, sure. So, I mean, you know what? I feel like I want to share, because this is the Unfuckers thing, and I want to share a little bit more, because so many of these concepts came from the concepts of the Unfuckers and everything that we've been going through for the last 7-8 years or whatever it's been. So all of these ideas about what is value, how is the media working against us, all of these kind of things that are being played out now. And I feel like this is such a beautiful tool for us to convert these big mind openings that we've had into something real and something that can ground into this world. So, yeah, so how do we want to start here? You want to just kind of go through it a little bit?
If you can explain, what's the game?
Okay.
How do we play the game? We're all the Unfuckers. We're here in this room right now with you. We want to play. How do we play this game?
Okay, so what we've got so far, we're just getting it set up so that we can play the game right now. We have all of the app done, we have the cards done, and essentially how the game works is you get a little card, which I will show you here. I'm sure I have one. You get a little card like this, and the card has a QRL code on the back. And so what happens is when you scan this card, it comes up and it pops up a little app on your phone. And once you get that app up on your phone, the app has missions on it. So we're custom designing these missions. And the missions are, like, just to give you an example, the first mission when you start it up, it's like, okay, it's teaching you about kindness, and it's showing you that this is a game that's going to be played to teach you kindness and teach you how to interact with the world. And it says the first thing that you need to do before you can be kind to anybody is you have to learn how to be kind to yourself. So go out and do something nice for yourself, something that you've been thinking about doing for a long time, and write a little story about it. And once you do that, it opens up the next mission. And the missions just keep getting a little bit more to start giving you that warm, fuzzy feeling. And each time you open another mission, each time you complete another mission, it opens another one. And each time you write a story at the end. And so all of these stories begin to be put onto a world map where we can look around and we can see all the nice little things that are happening all around the world, where you can zoom into your neighborhood, for example, and you can zoom right down to your backyard. And you can read all the nice little stories that happened in your backyard the day before. The really good stories. And you can see the pictures of the people that did these stories. I mean, this is real news. This is like the news that affects us. This is real news. This is like it.
Affects us. Actually affects us.
It affects us in real life. Yeah. So the game is set up so we can play these things, and the game is set up to accumulate these stories into a different, like, as it grows, we hope to create some sort of a new media site out of this so that we can look to here for our news, and we can try to get our news from here. So that's kind of essentially the basics of how the game works. And I kept thinking, you know, like, we're at this point now where we've come from this big mind opening. We've been looking at the world in such an interesting way, and we've been exploring the world, like, especially the Unfuckers, just seeing all of these things coming out into the world. And it's so big, like, wow, oh my God, like, who would have thought this is what the world was like, you know, a few years ago. So we started seeing all these things, but now I feel like we're all kind of coming to this thing, like, we have to be able to start taking actions. And what I realized was that it's hard to take actions when the problems are so big. And one of the things that brought this to mind was we were going through, and I mean, I'm sure through the years we've been talking about Monsanto and all these big bad companies all around the world that are doing so much to destroy the world. And we kept thinking, and it's funny because in Israel, you see all these people that are rallying against these companies and they're trying to bring them down. And I mean, there's a lot of activism here. But you keep thinking, how does a handful of hippies out in the street, how are they going to bring down a multinational corporation? This is crazy. Like, the idea that we can come together and do this, they're just so big, these things. And I started thinking, well, you know what, they've created such a big problem in the world. Probably the only things that can resolve those problems are structures that are just as big as them. And maybe we don't need to bring these big corporations down because they have these amazing networks all around the world. And if you look at these big corporations, what they are is they're 99.9% just good people doing their work. It's just the few at the top. It's that seed at the top that creates that whole network working bad against the world. And I started thinking, what if we could just change that seed at the top instead of destructing all of these networks and all of these things, if we just change the seed at the top. So what we're going to do is we're going to use this as a corporate promotion product where corporations can promote kind acts in the world. So we've got it all set up that we have a corporate promotion package where we'll custom label the cards for them, we'll custom do the apps for them. They can offer their own incentives, and what the incentives will be based on is people doing good acts. So the corporations can associate their company with making a change in the world. And it's a beautiful publicity thing. Like I was in marketing before, and it's such a good way. It's a really powerful way of marketing. So
absolutely,
to put this out like this is really something. And what we want to do then also is this rolls into the whole concept of what is value in the world, which is what we've been searching for so long. And we've been looking at cryptocurrencies and all these things. And I'm like, oh my God, like Ethereum, I was looking at it the other day, it's like $6 billion. I was like, how the fuck does it have $6 billion? It's like nothing. Yeah. It's like, shit, there's no value to these things. I mean, back in the day, money had value, it was valued with gold, but then they took it off of that. Now there's just nothing. There's no value to any of this money. And they're running around making billions of dollars that's not valued in anything. And it begs the question, okay, our whole financial system is changing now. All of these things, I mean, if you made a cryptocurrency 20 years ago, you just go to jail for counterfeiting or whatever. I mean, but now everybody can make their own money. That's the truth. Yeah, like, you can make your own money. Wow, okay, but now what gives money value? What gives exchange value? And it was through all of like Heather and probably all that time at the OPT and stuff, they were always talking about value and stuff. And I started thinking lately, like, what is value in this world? What is value? And I've been thinking about this lots. And I started thinking, well, you know what? The only thing that has value in the world is our actions in the world, our good actions. That is the only thing that holds value in this world. Now, what if we could create a game that promotes those good actions, and we want to create a cryptocurrency also which values those actions and gives a financial tool the connection of real value in the world. The real value is our action. So anyways, so all of this is leading up to this cryptocurrency and this new news thing. And these are all concepts of the Unfuckers conversations that we've had. So I'm so excited about this. It's just
awesome. I love this. I love your dream. I love how you brought it all together, and you all these little pieces and dots, and you've connected all these lines together. Because you know what? Listen, if we've talked, we've asked the question over and over again. I have multiple times in shows. We talk about creating something new, and we talk about, well, if you're going to create something new, what would you create? And when we talk about things like, for example, the value, if we're going to talk about creating something new, the value of acts of kindness, could there be any better way to set a price or a value to create value than other than like sharing acts of kindness with other people? It's inspired. I love it. I really, really loved the entire concept, concept of what you're doing.
Wow. And I think it's really important too, because it's these little acts. I really want to get this and send it home, because it's these little acts that we do. These are the things that change our world. We go through and we're seeing all the crap that's going on in the world. It's going to fall apart. We either have two choices. One, some white horse can ride in from the heavens and save us and blow up CERN and all these crazy things. I mean, it's just out of our control, all this stuff. Or the other option is to do something about it ourselves. And those are our only two options. And as long as we're staying in the option of somebody coming to try to save us because we don't know what to do, we'll probably be there for a long time. But we have to create a change ourselves. And the problem is nobody knows how to create a change because it's such a big problem. But the only way we will ever create a change is by each one of us just taking small actions. And the moment that we take a small action, we do something nice for somebody, something opens inside of us. And when that opens, we have a good feeling. It's something you just don't feel in today's world very often. And when you have that good feeling, if you have it once, you'll look for it again. And I feel like just by opening that door, it's
an addiction. Next thing you know, you're addicted to this good feeling, and the only way to get that good feeling is to do something nice.
Yeah, wow. And you
in the crowdfunding, you talked about the fact that one of your plans is to do it into schools. Where was it? I can't remember where it is. And you're writing about it. And you talked about putting them into schools, bringing the game and launching it and putting it into schools, and like basically teaching children about acts of kindness, and how to have, we can see it as a teacher's tool, how to interact within the classroom with your classmates, with your teacher, with fellow students, friends, family, etc. You know, and the idea of, like you said, about how you could build these stories in the class, like, you know, like there's all your little lists of class of all the kindness cards that could be all clipped up somewhere, and kids having some pride, like, yeah, I did this and it felt really good. And you talk about get them young, teach them right.
Yeah, for sure.
Teach them right. If you want to feel good, here's a great feeling. This is how we achieved it.
Yeah. Well, you look at the schools. I mean, I got two kids here. They're in school. I mean, I don't know. What do they teach them in school? They teach them like Hebrew or English, and they teach them math and social studies and stuff. They teach them all these things that I don't remember any of it. I don't use any of this stuff in my life hardly anymore. I mean, I don't even know how to add or do dividing anymore, but I mean, I don't use it, so I don't need to know. So, but they teach them all of these things. And what do they not teach them? All I remember is when we were kids, the only way that they would teach us how to interact socially is they would throw the whole school out into their school playground, and they'd have two teachers watching over 100 and some kids and have at her. That's how you learn social interactions. And you wonder why we're all fucked up in our business world and all over the place. We don't know how to deal with each other. Nobody's ever showed us. So to put this thing in as a tool into the education system, it's a phenomenal idea. We've got other groups we're working with that have been doing this for a long time now, and we're going to bring the game concept into the school districts so that they can play games and the kids can be incentivized, and we can custom design the missions for the school district, and it'll teach the kids how to, it'll be a game, because that's what we need now. First of all, too, I wanted to talk about the game for, we need fun. Everybody's so damn serious all the time. Oh, we got to have fun. We got to make a game. Games have been around forever. You can go to the Mayan places. They've got like ball courts there. I mean, I don't know how they played with those things, but the games have been around forever. They're just part of our thing. We're taught how to work the economic system through playing Monopoly. Like, it's crazy. Games teach us shit. I mean, that's just how it is. They're designed to teach us it. It's another powerful force in the world. When we play a game and we're engaged with it, it teaches us stuff. So we want to get this game going so we can teach kids just how to interact. Look, when you come together, you do something good together, it feels good for both of you. It's really simple. It's not a hard concept, but we're just not taught it. What are we taught in schools today? Oh, if you help your neighbor on his test because he doesn't know what he's doing, well, you both fail. It's not like, oh, good for you, you helped your neighbor.
Some help apparently teachers don't want you to do.
So we're really excited. We've got a lot of people that are helping us on this education thing. So we're really excited to get into the schools because I think it's the most important thing. I just imagine the next generation of kids coming up and all they want to do is just work together. Oh my God, what a crazy, it would just change like this. The world would be totally different. It would be totally different.
Absolutely. So what can the unfuckers do? What can the people who are listening to this do? I mean, we've got obviously your crowdfunding because you need the money to be able to move forward to actually get the game produced and all of these pieces put out there. What else can people do? What do you need?
What do we need? Well, right now we're just getting the crowdfunding going. So if you guys, I came out of this thing after 7 years. I mean, I don't know anybody. I don't have any contacts. I don't have anything. I'm starting this thing from the ground up. I had 100 email addresses that I found. So I think we're doing pretty good considering that. But yeah, if you can just share this idea out there, because we really want to get the idea out and just start getting it out. And whatever comes out of this crowdfunding thing, we're just going to work with it. We're going to keep going ahead with this thing. And we're just going to keep pushing it ahead. And what I want to do also is if anybody is into business or wants to participate in this in any way, please just let me know, because we're creating a much bigger plan around this. This isn't something small. The game, which we're starting with, is something nice and small. It has the cards and things. But we want to turn this into a news media site, and as well as attach this whole cryptocurrency concept to it with true value.
Yep.
So we have a lot of big things to do. So if any of you are interested in any way, please reach out to me and we'll just figure out, we're just bringing a team together, and there's just so many good people that are coming together right now just working on this thing. I don't know how we're going to do it yet. I'm not even thinking about the bigger things right now because I'm just trying to focus on this game. But still, it's starting to fall together now, and it's starting to come together beautifully. We've connected with some beautiful organizations who have been doing kindness projects for like 13 years. Again, just stumbling onto them literally in the streets of Jerusalem by chance, and then just not even knowing them and just connecting and then finding out what they were doing and finding that they were doing this. So anyway, so we're bringing together a lot of people in the industry. And like I said, anybody that wants to participate, I really feel like this is like a tool that we can all use to convert the energy of woo into the energy of wow, like kind of like shift it in the world. It's just a conversion point, and it's a beautiful, simple little game. And there's just so much we can do with it. There's so many ideas and so many ways that we can use this game. And just getting people to focus on those moments of connection and writing the stories, taking back our stories.
And I like that. Writing the stories, sharing the stories, how it felt, what happened, how, you know, that inspires people. Do you know what I mean? Because people see something happen. You met someone on a bus, you helped the little old lady carry her groceries off the bus, and you sat and spoke for 2 minutes with this lady, and maybe you exchanged a little story, and you helped her, she exchanged with you with a, you know, and then you can write about it. And these kind of things inspires people to go, ah, that sounds, I can do that. I can do that. I absolutely could do stuff like that. It inspires us to see the opportunities in front of us that sometimes we don't see, because we're so, sometimes we get so locked up in here that we're not really looking at what's going on around us.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. We have this tunnel vision on. We just got to open our eyes, because every time we go outside, there's so many things we can do. Like everywhere, I can just walk down the street. There's a million little nice things I can do, which would just make somebody's day. But because I'm not focused on it, I'm a little bit afraid. I'm just inside myself when I'm walking. I put my headphones in, I do whatever. But this game is designed to just wake us up. When you're outside, look around. Just pay attention to the people around you.
Community.
Yeah, community. That's what it's all about. It's all about bringing us back together into community.
I love it. I love it. Okay, so first off, do you have a website yet?
Yes, it's CanadaKindness.com.
CanadaKindness.com.
Yes.
And you're going to type that out for me in our chat so that I don't screw it up. And email. How can they contact you?
CanadaKindness@gmail.com.
CanadaKindness@gmail.com. Awesome. Kevin, I want to thank you so much for being here tonight. We're going to have you back in a little while, maybe another couple of months, so we get like updates and know what's going on. I got some people I'll talk to you about. We're going to close off here, and if you want to stick around for a second, we're going to have a chit-chat with the Unfuckers, and we'll answer some questions, and that'll go up in the members' site later on. But Kevin, thank you so much for coming. This was awesome.
Well, thank you. I have to tell you that this is just such a synchronicity. Like literally, when I started this journey 7 years ago, I started with you and the crazy concepts that you were putting out. And I feel like now I've been listening for 7 years, and I've come around to the point where something is coming out of this. I feel like I have something after this 7 years of this crazy journey with you. I feel like for the Unfuckers, for those of us that can see it, there's a beautiful tool that we can use now to kind of address this whole thing that's been opened over the last 7 years. So I'm so excited, and it's just a blessing for me. It's the first radio show I've done now. So
there you go. First interview.
I feel like it's the blessing. So thank you so much.
Everyone else stick around. We'll do a little question and answer. We'll have a little chit chat. But again, I'll have all the information with the video. So I'll have the link to the crowdfunding and the website and how to get in contact with Kevin will all be in the article, which will be linked below in the description of the video. And that's it. We'll talk to you later. Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody.